Yo, Jeffrey, come here. Y'all see my boy G up? He about to dip. You already know. Cappin Chronicles member right here. Hey. So, I'm going to tell you something crazy. I want to get a dog and a cat. This goes out to all of our viewers, just letting you insights on our life. I want a dog and a cat. I want to name the dog Rocky. And I want to name the cat Ferguson. So it'll be ASAP Rocky and ASAP Ferg. Do you dig what I'm saying?
I see it.
You see what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
This is the best dog and cat name I've ever heard in my life. Bro, I be running with the ASAP mob all the time. When I tell you their Instagrams are going to go insane off of these names alone, I plan on buying a bucket hat. Am I going to make them Instagrams? John, if I have a dog and it doesn't have an Instagram, do I have a dog? I don't think so. All right? I just don't think so.
Okay.
You know what time it is. It is time for my personal favorite segment, the hottest of takes. We on fire with this one, all right? Let me tell you something. We got the squad out here. Big J, John Jax, and my girl, Elise, the Beast. Tell them what's good, all right? Let me tell y'all something. When I hit y'all with what I'm going to hit y'all with, I'm going to blow your minds. All right. We've been talking about Hokages a lot lately, little conversations pieces. I think Naruto's dad, the fourth Hokage, is trash. I said it. Eeks. Trash. The worst Hokage out of them all. Okay? I'm just saying, I want to give me a couple minutes to explain before you come at me crazy. You know, I'm going to give y'all some facts behind it. First of all, I'm going to take out Kakashi. He's out of there. Gone. I'm going to take out Tsunade. The reason is she's a Sannin, but she's the weakest Sannin. And in the show, they clarify that Jiraiya is stronger than Orochimaru, and Orochimaru is stronger than her. So she couldn't have, you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's too much responsibility to put on her at her power level right now. It's not fair. It's just not fair. She did a good job of what she had. But I don't want to put her in that Hokage conversation. Kakashi, I'm not going to explain that. I mean, come on. With no Sharingans?
Telling you, he was keeping the seat warm. He said,
might as well have put in, bro.
I got you.
Might as well throw a Ruka Sensei up there. Throwing a Konohamaru. With no Sharingan? What are we talking about? Get that guy out of here.
And what we're not going to do is disrespect Hashirama. He can't be in the conversation because he's the epitome. So
that's what I'm saying. First of all, I want to clarify. Naruto and Hashirama, in my mind, are two of the best Hokages. Now, okay, fine. I'm not even going to put Naruto in there. I think Hashirama is the best. I think Naruto is the strongest. You get a lot of points in that position for being the strongest because your position is basically to protect the village. Now, I think the fourth Hokage is the worst because, yes, he does protect the village in 2 instances, but he dies way too early. He doesn't accomplish any of the culture influencing things that the other Hokages accomplished. Tobirama sets the jutsu culture up in the Leaf Village, and Sarutobi sets up the entire Will of Fire in the village. Something that Hashirama had originally done, and that Sarutobi put back into the culture. That really is what drove that generation to be the greatest, or second greatest, or whatever greatest, one of the greatest generations of ninja we'd ever seen. Sarutobi said to be one of the strongest, so it can't be him. He's a great guy, so it really can't be him. I mean, he did some things. But Minato accomplished seemingly nothing. Everything he did was then fixed by the third. If they had to actually find a fifth Hokage at that time and had appointed somebody like Kakashi, the village would have been in ruins. Because he set them up. He set them up for failure. He really did. He set the whole village up for failure. You're just going to die 2 weeks into the job? How you dying your day off? Bro, all I'm saying is, not only did he die, he took his wife with him. Come on, protect somebody. Like, bro.
He protected Naruto.
Bro, that's not even
by
his
putting
fault.
a demon in him, that's not protection.
That's not his fault, though.
He was barely born yet. You can't protect something that's not alive. He just died out in the He died out in the field. I give him some credit for fighting off. I give him some credit for fighting off the nine-tailed fox. Okay? I give him some credit. But his power level, the way they talk about him, he should have been able to do more than just fight it off and die fighting it and putting it inside Naruto. Because Hashirama would have folded it.
That's
He would have
Hashirama.
folded it. Toby Rama would have folded it.
I don't know if Toby
That
Rama
man's
would have
name.
folded it, but what I do know is Toby Rama would not have died in the
He wouldn't have died
process.
fighting it.
And
Yeah, he
neither would
have died fighting it.
Hiruzen. Neither would
And neither would, yeah.
Hiruzen.
I need y'all to.
In
People
his
was talking
prime,
a lot of
yeah.
trash on Instagram. So, John, he was in his prime. It was an old man Minato. That was his prime. That's the best he'd ever been.
Fighting a,
That was Black Shorts Mike Tyson. What are you talking about? Folded. Folded. What are we talking about here? Listen, I see a lot of disrespect about Hiruzen on Instagram. Let me tell y'all something.
And it's deserved.
Y'all are boys and he's a man, all right?
Not
That man is
deserved.
grown. He is not deserved. So what do y'all think? Y'all think I'm crazy and Minato's not the worst Hokage? Who do you think is the worst Hokage? Tell me that.
Who's going first?
I'm gonna go first because
All right,
this
go
is
ahead.
All right, John.
this is near and dear to me. I'm gonna go with that third Hokage. Okay. So we're told
You're crazy. You're out of your mind. You're outside of your mind.
how am I?
How is he the worst? How is he the worst Hokage?
Listen. This man abdicated his seat. He retired early as hell. You wanna know why he left? He left his seat. You wanna know why he left his seat? Because he realized he couldn't hack it. My man realized he made some bad decisions. He let Danzo run a little bit too far, instigate too much.
I gotta ring my capillary.
Tomorrow when he had every
I gotta
chance
ring my
because his
capillary.
feelings got too into it. All right, got cut off in his feelings. You can't
I
be
wanna
caught
ring
up
my
in your
capillary.
feelings when you're the president.
I want to
The
ring my
Hokage?
capital arm here.
You
I wanna
can't
ring
take
my
that
capillary.
serious because
Heavy.
I liked
Mhm.
him.
None of that's true.
He's kidnapping your
First of
citizens.
all,
I don't care
he
what
retired.
you do.
First of all, he retired
He
of old
didn't
age.
retire. He retired when
He did
was
not
old.
retire because he couldn't do it. He retired of old age. Every Hokage did that.
No, he
You're supposed to
didn't.
retire when you're old.
He did not
He
retire.
retired of old age. He did. He retired because he was too old for the position.
Naruto's 11 when he's there. Minato was
Hiruzen
only
is like
Hokage
60 years.
what, for
yeah.
2 years?
Hiruzen's exactly.
before
Hiruzen's like 70 years old.
Naruto died.
He was
so
60
he was
years
like
old when he
60
retired.
something. No, the rest is true. He didn't let Danzo do whatever the fuck Danzo wanted.
He
That's
gave
Toby
Danzo
Rama's
a kill
fault.
squad. He gave
That's
Danzo
Toby
he
Rama's
set up the
fault.
Anbu for Danzo, and then he said, "Hey, Danzo, listen, I'm
All of that's Toby
soft-hearted."
Rama.
This man, hold up. This man specifically said, "I'm soft-hearted. The way I'm running this country, I'm being a little soft, so I'm gonna need someone to be the hammer." He gave Danzo the Anbu plus a special root kill squad to do whatever Danzo wanted,
What did it?
which led to the murder of the entire Uchiha clan. So
That's not what led to the murder. I'm gonna tell you who led to the
Exactly.
murder.
Thank you, Elise.
What?
Come here, Elise. I'm not even gonna do this, Elise. Handle
Danzo,
him. Tell him the real truth.
Okay, look here. All the faults of Hiruzen are truly the faults of my Hokage. The man with the cleanest fit ever.
Thank you.
Toby
Mhm.
Rama Hitler.
Exactly.
Hitler.
Because
Thank you.
literally not all, 80% of Hiruzen's shortcomings are Toby Rama's fault. He's the one who made the Uchiha 12. Don't nobody like the police.
Yeah.
Even kids that grow up to be police, when they were kids, were like, ew, the police. He did that to the Uchihas. Toby Rama did. He said, how can I make everyone hate them like I do? Make them give out parking tickets. Fuck the Uchihas. That's what he did.
And put him in a corner. And locked him into a corner of the village so they couldn't spread out.
So don't nobody talk to them anyway. And he ingrained that fear of the Uchiha in. Then, instead of, I don't know, bringing the village together and doing a better job mentoring Danzo and Hiruzen, you know what he did? Played with his little experiment kit. He's the one that made Orochimaru this
Thank you, Elise.
thirst for
Thank you.
knowledge. Because Toby Rama's like, so if my brother dies and I wanted to, let's say, summon him to battle,
Recreate him.
could I do that? Then did it and said, hold up. If I can do that, let me seal him so I can't do it.
So you're mad at him for being innovative?
It's
I'm
not
mad at him
innovation,
for being
John. He made
innovative
all the
and fault.
he made all the forbidden jutsu that got Orochimaru hooked onto forbidden jutsu.
Here's the thing. If you tell kids, don't smoke weed, kids, what do they want to do? Don't touch that. What do you want to do? You want to touch it.
If you're the creator of cocaine and my child overdoses, I'm blaming you. What are you talking about here? Get out of here. It's his fault. All the stuff that you're talking about that's wrong with Hiruzen, is all Toby Rama's fault, and it ignores all the great stuff that Hiruzen did.
I'm not
The
saying that he
fantastic
didn't do
stuff.
anything great. I acknowledge his feats. He's an accomplished, successful Hokage.
So then how could you say he's worse than Minato, who has no feats?
Because Minato got into office and then a week later a war started. That's not his fault. A
war did not start.
Reigned over a whole war.
His first act as the Hokage was ending a war.
No, Hiruzen ended the entire war. He was a soldier in that war. He wasn't Hokage at any point during the war. The war was over by that time.
No, when I say, I misspoke. When I say war, I mean like his village is entirely under attack by a tail beast. That's what I mean.
John, you're a Hokage. The only time you're actually doing your job, I'm saying you're a Hokage, John. Your job is three things. Fighting for your village in calamity when no one else can. Being Hokage and guarding your city or your village during war. And instilling culture in your village. Hiruzen did two of those things, and technically three, by dying to fight Orochimaru. Minato accomplished one of those things and died to do it. He did not accomplish any of the other two things that Hokage is supposed to do. And because of his shortcomings in his prime, Hiruzen was forced to become Hokage again at a too old age. Crazy.
At which point he regrets Naruto.
If Toby Rama didn't hate the Uchihas so much, do you think that perhaps the fourth Hokage could have been an Uchiha? Perhaps one that was killed filling up Danzo's arm.
It would have for sure been Sasuke's dad at that point. Because the entire clan was like, should be the Hokage.
He was strong.
No, he wasn't strong enough. He wasn't that strong.
He wasn't that strong. He had a monkey.
I'm thinking like Shuichi or Itachi doesn't leave the village. Itachi.
I agree with.
Or maybe I don't know. Maybe an Uchiha would feel like helping Minato out if they weren't on the other side of the village, and maybe could have tamed the nine-tailed beast.
I agree with Elise. If Toby Rama hadn't done what he had done, I think Hiruzen stays the Hokage for a little bit longer until Itachi can take over, because they saw something in Itachi when they asked him to do that. When Danzo asked him to do that. And if at that point they had seen what they saw in Itachi, I don't think if they didn't have that instilled hate of Uchiha that Toby Rama put in them, or put in Danzo, I don't think they make him do that. I think they groom him to be the next Hokage over Minato.
Why are you saying they? I'm confused.
Because it was Danzo's decision.
It was all Danzo.
99%. Yeah, it was all Danzo.
It was all Danzo.
Also, I don't want to.
It was all Danzo. But
but I'm saying, but Saratobi saw the. I understand, but Saratobi saw the promise in Itachi. Elise is making the point that if there wasn't that Toby Rama instilled fear of them, somebody like Itachi would be being groomed to be the Hokage, and that's the truth. I don't think Minato would have been the fourth. He might have been the fourth because the reason I think Minato ends up being the fourth, what it actually probably should have been Jiraiya, is because...
It probably Jiraiya or Orochimaru.
Orochimaru felt like it should be...
Also, Orochimaru is a shortcoming of a mixture of Toby Rama and making everything forbidden and making everything taboo. And Hiruzen's shitty... He's not a good sensei.
That is so not true.
None of his disciples fuck with him.
That's not true. Jiraiya fucks with him.
He favored him.
Why is he never in the village then?
I can explain it. Jiraiya leaves because he feels like he failed to bring back Orochimaru, and he leaves to go work on his book and other things and be a perv. He was already a perv and working on his book when Hiruzen started training him. Hiruzen's the reason that he is such a great ninja and becomes a Sannin. He left because he saw the war and didn't want to be in any of that stuff anymore. It has nothing to do with Hiruzen hate. He came back for Hiruzen's funeral. That's the whole reason he comes back.
I wasn't saying Hiruzen hate. I said Hiruzen indifference. He don't fuck with him.
It's not indifference. He loved Hiruzen. He has multiple flashbacks in the original Naruto.
Should have been there to make sure your best friend didn't kill him then.
I agree, but he didn't know that was coming. And on top of that, Tsunade doesn't leave because of Hiruzen. She leaves because of her gambling addiction, 1, and 2, because of the little boy that dies in war.
Because of her cousin or whatever. Question: if Hiruzen was a better teacher, would he have not, helped Tsunade with her grief and perhaps mitigate her gambling debts?
Let me explain that to you. Kakashi is a great teacher. Okay?
Is he?
If they don't, I think he is. If they don't save
Sasuke, nobody shit since Shidori.
Elise, wait. I'm talking about in the ninja way. He taught them how to have the will of fire and how to have the ninja way. If they don't save Sasuke, if Naruto fails at saving Sasuke, he does not come back to the village and become Hokage. Sakura does not come back to the village and become what she is. None of the story goes the same way if they don't save Sasuke. That's the only reason it works out the way it does. Minato was a decent teacher. You don't put shortcomings on him. You don't put the shortcomings on him, right? Obito and the entire stuff. Okay, well then
blame Obito and Minato too.
Obito and all the terrible stuff that happens into the village is all Minato's fault. He's the reason that they actually come back and bring the Nine-Tailed Fox is because he was a trash teacher, and Obito leaves and goes under Madara. Sasuke coming back to destroy the village is then, but I'm saying I wouldn't.
To how Orochimaru leaves.
That's where I'm going. I don't use that logic. That's why I didn't bring up that point against Minato, because I don't think that people leaving the village. No, because I don't think people leaving the village for different reasons is blamed on them unless it's specifically them that they're leaving for. Obito had nothing to do. He didn't leave because of Minato. He had nothing to do with the fact that Minato was his teacher. It had everything to do with him basically dying, being indoctrinated, and then coming back and seeing Rin murdered. He didn't have any information. He didn't know what had happened. It's not any failing of Minato. Just like how Sasuke leaving has nothing to do with Kakashi's teaching. He leaves because he realizes Kakashi gets folded by Itachi on sight, and that there is literally no one in this village who can make me strong enough to fight my brother. That's not Kakashi's fault. Itachi is a genius at prodigy. I'm not blaming Minato. I'm saying you can't blame Minato. I don't blame Minato, so I would never blame Kakashi, so I would never blame Sarutobi. It's one line of logic. But if you're going to blame Sarutobi, then you need to turn that blame onto Minato, because he is the entire reason that he dies. He is the entire reason, if you use that logic, that the entire war is fought, and he's the entire reason that Sasuke leaves. If you use that logic, everything spirals out of control from the Nine-Tailed Fox. I don't use that logic. But if you use that logic, then I will agree with you that Minato is the worst. Oh, you think Tobirama precedes all this and causes even that to go into motion? Yeah, I don't think Tobirama actually has anything to do with that if you cut off the line of Minato.
I feel like if Tobirama fucks with Uchiha post Hashirama and Madara's fight at some point, sorry, I had an alert there. You know, people be blowing me up. Just kidding. It was a work email. Anyway, Madara comes back. Now there's stronger Uchiha to train the Uchiha lineage. And then you don't get Senju as fucking Hokages.
There was only two, though.
My problem with that, but Sarutobi is but Sarutobi's trained by Hashirama and Tobirama, so he's literally just an extension.
And
of that.
Tsunade
so
is also
basically 3 in a row. And Tsunade is a Senju, so it's basically 4 out of the 5. And Kakashi is technically.
I think technically Naruto's part Senju too, because the Uzumaki clan marries into Senju.
I mean,
yeah, but that's like such a far lineage. Then, you can't use that.
But that doesn't mean that he's a direct. He'd have to be a direct descendant of Hashirama for him to be a Senju.
Yeah, I would say, but I think Elisa's point Elisa's point is that 4 out of the 6 Hokage are Senju or literally groomed by Senju to be Hokage.
Yeah, but the thing is, all the Hokages are groomed by either previous Hokages or senseis of previous Hokages.
And that's the
issue.
Problem. That's what she's saying. If Tobirama didn't hate Uchiha so much, he would have groomed a Uchiha.
There would have been more people. I'm saying
it makes way more logical sense to groom a Uchiha, who is the only other clan that is as strong as yours, to be the leader of the village. But my problem with Elisa's point is that I agree with you in history for if you want to go the Danzo route that way. But I would also say that I don't even know if the Danzo killing the Uchiha clan stuff happens if Obito doesn't leave. Because I thought he was putting in divisive rumors and stuff and tearing up the economy or tearing up what the Uchiha were thinking. And not to mention, he helps Itachi kill all of them and sends the Nine-Tailed Fox before that to set everything in motion for Hiruzen and Danzo to be back in power. Because Hiruzen doesn't do any of that in his first term.
Also, who trains Danzo? Just for a reminder, who trains Danzo?
Tobirama.
Tobirama. Yeah.
That's why I'm telling you it's all fucking Tobirama's fault.
I agree with you. I'm saying I agree with that. I agree with that logic. But I'm saying if you think about it, in Hiruzen's first term, he didn't do any of that stuff. So if Minato was a better Hokage when he comes in, there is no second Hiruzen term to kill all the Uchiha.
Okay, but when would he have had the time to do this?
To be a better Hokage?
There
If he was a better
Anbu,
teacher,
and he was his first
he
turn.
didn't have the time to
yeah,
really
they
do
didn't kill
anything.
the Uchiha. Itachi didn't kill the Uchiha during his first term. Minato dies because Toby brings the nine-tailed fox. If he's a better teacher, by your logic on Orochimaru, that the teacher is the one that causes that stuff, if he's a better teacher, Toby never leaves and gets the nine-tailed fox. Why didn't he not go check on his student to see if he was actually alive or not?
There's no reason to believe he's alive.
I understand, but it's your student. You're not going to go get his body to lay to rest.
You're in the middle of the war. You're in the middle of the war.
You can still go and get the body or something like that.
Yeah,
it
you
was
can still
very
get the body.
commonplace in the wars at that point to steal bodies, especially bodies of people who had Kekkei Genkais, to try to unlock the power. That was very commonplace.
That's my point. He's a Uchiha. Why would you just leave Obito's body out there for another nation?
You think it's even more of a reason for them to go get him?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
He's a Uchiha. It makes way more sense.
It's like Kekkei Genkais like that are super valuable. It's the reason the whole Hyuga clan puts curse marks on.
I was gonna say, literally, the Hyuga clan goes to the length of killing the twin brother and taking his eyes out before they give the body away. So why did Minato not go back and find Obito's body?
That's true. Also, why do we have no Hyuga Hokages?
Well, that's because
the show. I don't even want to. Yeah, I don't want to go into that. Elise, I have another hot take. Me and John have the whole hot take for that. Don't even bring the Hyugas up.
They get holes.
Bring them up. But I agree with you, Elise. I think there's two ways you can look at this. Either you think the fourth is the worst because everything kind of strands from him. The entire show comes from him. Or you look at Tobirama as being the worst because you could argue that everything kind of comes from him. But I'm saying there's no second term for Danzo to fuck stuff up. If Minato survives fighting the nine-tailed fox, or doesn't have to fight the nine-tailed fox because he better grooms Obito and Kakashi. Because not gonna lie to you, Kakashi becomes a good ninja not because of Minato's teachings, but because Obito dies in front of him. It is nothing like the way Minato was grooming him up. He was going to be an asshole.
Yeah, he was.
He's going to be a trash person. The only reason it changes is because Toby dies in front of him. So it's like, is he actually a good teacher? And not to mention, multiple times as their squad leader, are they set out on their own? I get that they're in a war, but it's like to the point where one of your teammates dies on the mission and then you send them out on another mission and then Rin dies. It's like,
and don't even throw a third in there. At least throw me a third. There ain't no more kids at the academy.
Yeah,
can I get a third member of the team?
Like, bro, like stay with your team then, bro. They all dying. This ain't working. This is not it.
He's like, I gotta go find A and B and then run away from them. So I'm gonna catch y'all later.
So that's where, for me, I kind of feel like Minato's feats, in most parts, I can't think of one thing he's beaten. Who does he beat?
Doesn't he beat Genkaku and Renkaku or whatever the heck their names are? The gold and silver people?
Oh, the brothers?
I don't think so. I thought they fought the Kazekage. I thought they fought the Kazekage. I thought he fought against them and didn't beat them. He had to leave when the second brother came, I believe.
He really has no feats. His feats are almost beating people.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm not so much convinced on your front, Josh, but I 100% agree with Elise. I'm not.
So you're
I'm saying you can't have it outside that cold and be a good Hokage.
Are you at least off of your stance that Hiruzen is the worst Hokage?
I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna say that he's not the worst.
I don't want you to say he's good.
I'm not even gonna front. I'm just bitter against him because I feel like he didn't treat Naruto well enough. All right.
I think you need to rewatch the original manga because I felt the same way you did when I watched Naruto and then Shippuden at such a separated part. But when I came back and watched regular Naruto, to tell the truth, I just rewatched the show like this week. But I realized how much more he's actually in the show than you would think. Like, he's in the cut, bro. He's literally like, when he dies, they have all these huge flashbacks for like all the main new ninja where he's like finding food with Shikamaru and Choji and eating with them and teaching them stuff and scolding them, and then finding flowers with Sakura and Ino. And then when Sasuke's alone by himself, the only person that's hanging out with him is Sarutobi. When Naruto's alone by himself,
that's
the only person that's
a flashback that wasn't real. I ain't see that shit in not near one episode.
Hey, yo, chill.
All them filler arcs, and they ain't show me the filler arc.
What I was gonna say is that's the thing. There's mixed canon episodes of Naruto, and if you watch the whole show with that guide, you are missing out on a lot of anime information. That some of it is important. It's not like dire information, which is how I first watched it. But watching it without that, where I'm watching every episode, there is so much more quality to it and so much more character development. In the first show, Shippuden's trash. The fillers are trash. But in regular Naruto, the fillers do seem to be there for mostly a reason. And I think when you see how often Saratobi's in there with them, helping out and doing stuff with Naruto, taking him out for ramen, like he is really there for him. I don't want to make it seem like he wasn't. And I also want to point out how sad everyone in that village was when he died. Like he really touched and impacted every single person in that village's life in such a big way. It's crazy. Like you would never imagine the president to really be one-on-one with every single person in the village. For them to all have great one-on-one memories of him. It's beautiful. So all I want to say is, as long as I made you not think he's the worst, I did my job here today.
Also, one. We know he's the strongest, but how good of a Hokage is Naruto really if he needs 30 shadow clones to do the job? I'm just going to say that and leave it alone.
We have to talk about the fact that the village expanded.
Yeah, I want to say, if you look
They
at
have
culture
computers
growth,
though, John.
no, but I'm saying that's Naruto. If you look at culture growth and economics throughout the village during Naruto's term, he's actually a fantastic Hokage. If you take out his home life, which technically is not part of being a Hokage, take that out.
He still needs 30 shadow clones to do the job.
Yeah, but he's strong enough. But he's strong enough to make them, so that makes him a good Hokage. Everyone else that didn't need 30 people to do everyone else that didn't need 30 people to do their job had other people doing the job for them, which is why you have a Danzo situation.
I'm just saying he should have read more in school. So with that,
that's true. You could argue that Shikamaru is the reason that he becomes a successful Hokage. I would argue that Shikamaru might be the real fifth Hokage.
I don't think, for being honest, I think he is.
Yeah. But I don't want to say he doesn't. I wish he
is
could
the
delegate
greatest
more.
advisor to ever hit that village, for sure.
Definitely. And I actually wonder to myself why I guess his dad was Kakashi's advisor and Tsunade's advisor, right?
Yeah.
Well, not Kakashi's advisor. He died in the war.
That's true. Yeah, he's Tsunade's.
Shikamaru was Kakashi's advisor.
Yeah.
Was he really?
But it's just,
yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
Kind of.
And once his dad died, he kind of took up the spot. But
he's leading his clan now too, right? So
his dad was also a very good advisor too. I want to clarify because B and the Raikage make the point of saying that he's one of the best minds they've ever seen, and as a general. Oh, Elise, y'all lost to the Thunder. Y'all lost to the Thunder.
Do we not already have the first spot locked up?
That was not me throwing my phone. That was more so my phone falling again. If you've watched the show, you know it happens often.
I'm telling you,
not going to delve into
wait
sports
for it
here.
Waiters smoked again. He was hallucinating on the court, and
I told y'all,
had some
as a Heat fan,
it's okay.
As a Heat fan, all I want to tell you is I told y'all like to go bargain hunting for your players and expect to find some steal. They're trash for a reason. This is the reason.
Deion's not trash. She's just misguided.
Oh, he's garbage.
He needs a hug.
No, trash bag. You leave the Heat, and I hate you. All right, we got another tangent. Hey, yo, thank y'all for watching so much. And let me know in the comments what y'all think. Do you think I'm right that Minato might be the worst? Or do you think Elisa's right, which she actually might be? She kind of sprinkled me out some rights. Toby Rama's the worst Hokage.
Big domino effect.
Or
Hitler.
do you think John is right, which is he's clearly not. That's Saratobi.
To be honest, I'm not even on my side anymore, so I don't blame you.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Saratobi's worse than Minato, but we'll save that for the comments.
No way. We're ending on that note. That's Cat. Full on Cat. Is he Minato?
The way he let Danzo run amok, can't do it.
No,
but let us know in the comments.
Donzo was running amok.
Trash.
He honestly should have walked into Donzo's office and just stole him, bro. He should have.
He really should have.
He should have.
What you doing in my village?
But again, I want to clarify.
We're supposed to be boys.
I want to clarify that in that show is built on parallels, and you see the parallels multiple times of one friend being the over-trusting friend and letting the other friend do whatever he wants. Jiraiya was the over-trusting friend to Orochimaru, and Orochimaru runs amok. Saratobi was the over-trusting friend to Danzo, and Danzo runs amok. Naruto is trusting Sasuke, but the real truth is that if Sasuke was a worse person, Naruto doesn't know what Sasuke is doing. He's literally no information on Sasuke's activities other than Sasuke telling them himself. Sasuke could be slitting everyone else's throat in the world.
That's true.
So I don't want
Have
to
a
make
whole
it seem
second
like
family.
Saratobi. Yeah, I don't want to make it seem like Saratobi's outlandish for letting that happen because it happens. In that show, I think that's bad writing sometimes. That it's just like that would really never happen.
Kishimoto does a great job, but in some ways it's...
Yeah, some things he does is improbable. Like you're telling me Hiruzen has enough time to go get lunch and chill with every single student in the fucking academy, but he doesn't have time to watch Danzo at all? How is that possible? You got time to buy snacks for Choji? That make no sense. Like,
Meanwhile, Naruto's never home to see his family. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like it don't make no sense. So sometimes it's just plot, but I don't think Saratobi should be in this discussion. I really think it's Tobirama pretty much the worst. And then I think I don't want to say Minato is the worst Hokage. I think he is, because he has no positive feats other than the nine-tailed fox thing. Hiruzen has a lot of positive feats to balance out the negative. And I feel like Minato is just, at that point, he was a placeholder. He ended up being a placeholder that gets really hyped up, but really accomplished very, very little. For the amount of hype, I would more so say that he's overrated. And I would say Tobirama is probably the worst. Yeah, I think Tobirama is the worst. I think Minato is overrated. And I think because Minato has that big level of mystery, 90% of the show, we just pretty much assume that he's raw. But like when you actually think of the things they tell you, he's all right. He's not that great. He's not even that great of a teacher. Like he ain't teach. What did he teach Kakashi?
He taught Jiraiya Rasengan. That's about it.
He taught Jiraiya Rasengan?
Yeah, he created Rasengan. He taught it to Jiraiya.
He created the technique. Yeah.
I mean, that's cool, but like, Jiraiya's not your student. He's your teacher.
It was probably like a, hey, look what I figured out. And Jiraiya was like,
yeah.
Hey, how you do that?
Yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like Jiraiya was like, hey, yo, young buck, how you do that? And he was like, oh, Jiraiya was like, yeah, I got that now. That's me. Like, come on. That's
okay, so first you take the balloon and you spin it.
Right? But that's what I'm saying. If you really think about it, Minato, what does he actually teach Kakashi? And I know he ain't teach
to be an asshole.
And I know he ain't teach Obito nothing.
Because like even him not being, his like view on like the ninja way is because of how bad he saw his dad's like light.
Yeah, in the village. That's what I'm saying. If you really think about this, right? I'm talking about culture-wise. Minato instills no culture the whole show. He does not instill a will of fire in Kakashi or teach him how to be a good ninja. Under Minato's tutelage, Kakashi was trash. He was literally cocky as hell.
I will say he did do the
only because Obito dies.
Jutsu. The teleportation jutsu is also Minato.
No, yeah, Tobirama invented Minato.
He invented it, but he perfected it.
Tobirama is really the GOAT.
Tobirama made a lot of jutsu. But I'm saying, listen, but Tobirama is Hitler. But bro, he made some stuff. Hitler probably made some inventions. We don't want to admit it, but Tobirama made some inventions, boy. He had some jutsus.
The man had
He was out there with the jutsu. The jutsu kind of balance out. No, it don't. He's not even close. He's definitely the worst. He's definitely the worst Hokage of all time. Because realistically, he ain't do no culture either. His whole culture is hate the Uchiha. His whole culture is Nazi Germany.
My brother just did. That down.
His whole culture is basically just Hitler Germany.
And that's it. And I think the Mount Rushmore was him too. I think the Mount Rushmore was him, not Hashirama.
Yeah, but at that point,
I feel like if it wasn't Hashirama, then they wouldn't have made a Madara statue.
Yeah. And not to mention, the Rush Hour thing is kind of vain, because at that point, it's just him and his brother. That's a family portrait. Like, bro, he was like, hey, yo, slaves, build this joint real quick. Like, this goddamn Egypt, bro. Like, come on. He low-key trash, bro. He really was.
I need to send you family tree, because where are their kids at? I'm going to have to cut this at some point, and, like, we're going to have to record it again.
Tsunade is their
Tsunade is the granddaughter.
Yeah, but their kids died. Their kids died. All those people's kids died in war.
The Senju clan died.
Yeah.
They weren't killed off, but they died. They weren't, like, massacred like the Uzumakis or anything. I don't remember exactly what happened, but they all died out. No, they all spread out. That's what it was. The clan kind of dissolved, and they all spread out.
Yeah. But her parents died in the war. The only Senjus who were in the village are Hashirama and Tobirama. Hashirama has kids. Tobirama does not. Hashirama has her dad. The dad has a kid with Tsunade. The dad dies in war. Or they have two kids. Or do they have a kid? Is the kid that dies her little brother or cousin?
It's her brother.
I think it's like her brother.
Okay, so they have two kids. The dad dies. The other kid dies too. A lot of
So
people
she
dying.
was
It's a war. A lot of
She's
people die
only
in
half
war.
Senju. So she's not even like a full-blood, Senju.
Yeah,
Like,
she's only half Senju. She's only half Senju. And then the same thing with Saratobi. Because his son dies, who has
And then his
Konohamaru.
Asuma.
both his kids die. Yeah. They're both Anbu.
Yeah, and then Asuma dies. So the only Saratobi left, the only who's Saratobi left is Konohamaru.
Konohamaru.
Yeah, don't roll your eyes.
No.
Konohamaru is cold.
Asuma's daughter. Asuma's daughter.
Asuma's
Asuma and
daughter is also
Kiranai's
there.
daughter.
Yeah. It's Konohamaru
Because I remember
and Asuma's
in
daughter.
Boruto, she's a Chunin and she has
She has his knives, yeah.
the knives.
Yeah. And she
Which
has
is
her mom's genjutsu.
a cold ass fucking weapon for
That's fire.
just to have
That's
the
a good looking
brass
bottle.
knuckles and
Yeah.
build like
And the knife,
Knives out of them. Those are fire. Those are cold. The chakra knives,
great
those are
close
pretty
range weapons.
cold.
All right.
Honestly, is Asuma a disappointment?
Yes.
Yes.
Why'd y'all say yes so fast? I'm dying. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, he is. He is. But the thing is, he's depressing because he gave up. Like him and Saratobi, they never got along. They had their issues, and it stated that like
I think they didn't get along because Saratobi's like, why aren't you better?
Because
Why
he
aren't you
was trying to
stronger?
push him to do better, and he didn't want to do it.
But is it possible
It's
that he's
because he
trying to
was a
push him?
smoker.
Is it possible he was
because he
trying to
had
push him
asthma.
because the older son had died in war and he didn't want to see his younger son die in war too?
And what did pushing him do? Made him die, but not in war, but after he was dead.
Maybe if he listened, he would have been strong enough to not die.
That's what I
Also,
was
can we
about to
talk
say.
about the village falling off so hard that you're going to end up going from a ninja as strong as Naruto, as Hokage, to the 8th being Konohamaru?
I actually don't know if that's going to be the
Why are
case.
you attacking him like this?
Yeah, you didn't stop this. This Konohamaru hate
Konohamaru
has to stop. Konohamaru is cold. He has really strong ninjutsu. He
Yeah.
knows how to use Rasengan, and he has loads of chakra. He also has the
Not
summoning
to mention
jutsu
he has
of...
the ape summoning jutsu.
Yeah, he has
that's his-
Haruzen summoning, which is strong as hell. So you're going to stop chilling over here disrespecting
Come
him
on
like
now.
this.
He
You're
ain't the
dragging
same
this man.
snot-nosed little brat.
Let me
I
tell
feel
you
like
something.
you just
Let me tell you
remembering
something
the
right
old
now.
Konohamaru.
Yeah. Let me tell you something right now. Grown Konohamaru was folding Kakashi. So I'll tell you that much.
Well, we all said
Unless he's
not
going to summon his little
Sharingan
dog
Kakashi.
Paku to come out here and fight for him. I don't know what Paku's going to have to say about it.
Not Sharingan Kakashi, he ain't.
He is folding Sharingan
Because he
Kakashi.
lost that, huh?
He is folding Sharingan Kakashi. I'm telling you that.
I don't know about folding. He might beat him, but he ain't folding him. And I say this to say, then you need to talk to the writers of Boruto because they power scaled him down way lower than that. Because he was getting
That's just because,
whooped.
okay, that's because he's Boruto's teacher and he's just chilling with these kids. He's not fight. He hasn't fought for real except for once in the show, and he won the fight. He don't fight for real yet.
When you watch, when's the last you watched?
Ooh, a while ago. He fought again? Who
There's
told
an
him?
arc where there's white Zetsu around. They go into some cave and they're fighting white Zetsu. And fucking Sasuke has to come in and save them because Konohamaru is getting his ass whooped. They're all about to
White
die.
Zetsu's pretty strong. White Zetsu's pretty strong.
They are, actually. Why is that so
No.
pretty?
And I don't know why you
But
said
he's supposed to be a
Sasuke has to save him.
Hokage.
Like,
He can't
Sasuke's
protect
not
kids
cold.
from 10
Well,
white.
he ain't the Hokage yet.
Yeah,
Let
he's
him,
gonna get
let him
stronger.
grow.
He's
Wait,
20
did he
something. How much stronger is he
did he-
getting?
Did he use his summoning?
He did not.
Okay, there it is. There it is.
They were in a
There
cave.
it is. That's what I'm saying. What are we talking about?
Anyway, so that's not an
Yeah,
excuse.
as soon as the ape comes, I don't know why he didn't use it, but that's just plot. As soon as the ape comes
Okay.
out, at least it's a wrap. That ape is not playing, bro. That summoning is low. That summoning is low. I'm making his Instagram handle the real ASAP Rocky.
That's a lot.
It is a lot, but I plan on buying.
That sounds like a lawsuit.
For the cat. So it'll be ASAP firmed out. If I had enough money, I would get an alpaca and name him Kendrick Lamar. He's like, I don't want. Jeffrey said, I don't want to dab up anymore. He's like, I'll even start. I'm dead. I'm dead. Talk about some B-roll. All right, y'all. I'll see you, my guy.
Peace.
Enjoy.
My guy. I'll see you, bro. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. All right, peoples.